Good morning, everyone. Yes, it's been a while. I've been sick and thought I was getting over it just fine. As you can tell, my voice is still a little off, but my nose still a little clogged up. Yes, I did end up getting that cough I didn't want to get. So making videos between coughing fits that can take a while. Wasn't gonna do that. It's been super cold here. We had a week of 1 degrees, 2 degrees at night, maybe 30 degrees and during the day. So it was very, very cold. We got snow, we got ice, we got sleet, we got it all. The pond's completely frozen over. We had water until yesterday, and it's froze up now. Oh no. Okay. Yeah, that was due to our own fault. Number one, if it gets really cold, you're worried that your water would freeze, just let it drip. Just drip. And it won't freeze. Ours didn't, and it should have, but it didn't. I mean, it should have. One said, but if you just let it drip, well, it works, okay? But we didn't have enough water in the tank. We didn't have enough water in the spring to fill up the tank at least halfway or three quarters. That would have taken care of it. We had only about 400 gallons in our tank when it all started. We were very conservative, but I have no doubt everything's froze up in the tank, and that's why we don't have water. So, yeah, it wasn't anything that anybody else did out there or nature even did. It was something we didn't do. We couldn't get water in time. Didn't think, maybe we'll get it from it. Yeah. Being prepared. Otherwise, we're good. And we have that underground spring in the basement, which has water all the time, most of the time, all the time. And so we have plenty of water. All I have to do is just carry it up and wash the dishes that way, flush the toilets, no problem. We don't have central heat. I think I mentioned that before, or people watch the videos where I make a fire downstairs. And it's been cold. It's been really cold in the house. I think one day we could not get it up to more than 40 degrees in the house, which is fine. We got our little heaters, which help. Um, and uh, and we can close up that one room. It's I said we can be cozy, but we're kind of used to it, so we just put on more clothes. Yes, yeah. I have a feeling that many people out there would be completely miserable if they would have to live here in this house during a cold spell like that. For us, it's just we had everything. We were completely locked in. We could not get out. But it's too dangerous to go either down one side of the hill out on the county road or the other. So we were completely locked in for about a week. And we had everything. We had everything. The power never went out, which was wow, amazing. And which is not a big deal because we have a uh, generator, and it's an easy one. All I have to do is just push the button, plug everything in, push the button. It's a really good one. And so we would have still had everything that we wanted, needed to have plugged in. Our kitchen is so cold. I think I could have just opened the refrigerator and everything would have stayed cold if that would have happened. Our animals, the barn's all completely closed down, and with all the animals in it, they keep the barn about 20 degrees warmer than it is outside. So they're all nice and toasty as well, with all their fur that they got. The piggy, as soon as the cold spell started, she came into the barn. She wouldn't leave the barn, so she made herself a nest in the sawdust. She pees and poops in one spot, which is great. Okay, so there's not a big old mess in the barn. Our outside cat, which if you let him in the house, he'll spray, he'll do this, he'll do that. He's fixed, but yeah, okay. And so he has his little house outside in the garage, but too cold. He went over to the barn and he's been out there for the whole cold spell as well. The dogs were inside most of the time. Ta-da. The only thing we have to remember is to start our cars every day to make sure the battery doesn't run down, which is not a big deal either because we have battery chargers. Okay, so that's been going on since I got home at the beginning of January, and I'm getting started here again now. Ugh, with Kings. We're still in Kings. So, anyway, I wish everybody a happy new year. Happy God's Day. I already did that, I think, in one of the videos anyway. And it's been interesting already. I could have made a video every day talking about something, and then it's like, well, okay, now that's already passed, right? Yes, it'll come back eventually if it is something I need to talk about. But that's been the last few weeks. My sister and I were here. My sister-in-law and I were here by ourselves, and I just yesterday I told her on how appreciative I am to be stuck kind of here with her, because we make a good team when it comes to all of this. A very good team. And it's wonderful to be with someone that you resonate with when it comes to the work that still needs to be done, right? Yes? Well, the animals don't get fed by themselves out there. Their stalls need to be cleaned, regardless on how you feel. It has to be done, okay? And to do it together, just being so in sync with each other, it's been great. I could not have been with a better person during this time and enjoying each other's company. Yes, she loves to read. I love to do my own thing. So, yes, on top of that, I not be each other's way when you have your own things to do, right? Yes? Okay. All right, we are in 2 Kings, and it looks like 2 Kings 10. The massacre of the royal family of Israel. Another massacre, okay? There were 70 of Ahab's sons in Samaria. Jehu sent to Samaria, to the authorities of the city, to the elders and to the guardians of Ahab's children. So, wait a minute. Jehu is, let's see, Ahab was what? The king of Judah, and Jehu was the king of Israel. Did I say that right? It's been too long. He said, now, when this letter reaches you, you have your master's sons with you. You also have chariots and horses, a fortified city, and weapons. See which of your master's sons is the best and worthiest. Put him on his father's throne and fight for your master's dynasty. Oh, is that when after Ahab died? Oh, Ahaziah. Who the heck is Jehu now again? Okay. I got to get back into all this, don't I? All right. Dynasty. They were utterly terrified. We have seen how the 2 kings could not stand up to him. They said, so how could we? Consequently, the master of the palace, the governor of the city, the elders, and the guardians sent word to Jehu. We are your servants. We shall do whatever you order us. We shall not proclaim a king. Act as you think best. This is like one of those things, right? When you look at the world today, there's plenty of supposed countries out there. And again, is it the countries we have to be afraid of, or the people leading those countries? People with their hidden agendas for, I'm not sure what, their dynasties they want to build without any kind of regards to what the common people actually need and are doing for them. Right? Yes? Okay. But when you have to be afraid of your own people, or some that have this power over what exactly, I'm not sure, but over our psyches, then that's a really, really sad situation. Don't you think? It's one thing if you, it's one thing, though I don't think that's the right thing to do either, when you arm yourself against an enemy outside of your own country. It's an absolutely wrong thing when we have to start to arm ourselves against each other. Don't you think? Jehu then wrote them a second letter. He said, if you are for me, and if you are prepared to accept orders from me, take the heads of the men of your master's family and come to me at Jezreel by this time tomorrow. Collective sin. What's Jehu doing? Yeah? All right. Here we go. I'm going to test you. You let me see if you're willing to do this. And then what is he doing? Making them a part of his what? That's how you become a part of Satan's agenda. Not because Satan comes to you, because other people come to you and say, okay. There were 70 of Ahab's sons, 70 sons, holy cannoli, being educated there by the leading men of the city. When his letter reached them, they took the king's sons and butchered all 70 of them, put their heads in baskets, and sent them to him at Jezreel. The messengers came and told Jehu, they have brought the heads of the king's sons. Leave them in 2 heaps at the entrance to the gate until tomorrow, he replied. When morning came, he went out and standing said to all the people, no guilt attaches to you. I did indeed plot against my master and have killed him. But what about all these? Who struck them? Know then that nothing will fail to be fulfilled of the prophecy uttered by Yahweh against the house of Ahab. Yahweh has done what he said through his servant Elijah. Wow. And then turn it around and make it look like what? Oh, look, the prophecy, God said, yeah, if you don't, yeah, came true. But how was it done? Wow. And I guess the people went for it, just like that. That's interesting. Jehu then killed every member of the house of Ahab surviving in Jezreel. All his leading men, his close friends, his priests, he did not leave a single one alive. Alrighty then. The massacre of the princes of Judah. Jehu then sent out for Samaria. As he was on his way at Beth-eked of the shepherds, he met the brothers of Ahaziah, king of Judah. Who are you? He asked. We are Ahaziah's brothers, they replied, and we are on our way to pay our respects to the king's sons and the queen mother's sons. Take them alive, he said. They took them alive, and he slaughtered them at the storage well of Beth-eked, 42 of them. He did not spare a single one. I'm always amazed. Here now they 70 sons. Here is 42 of the brothers. It's amazing on how they have the exact numbers, right? Yeah, of some of them, and then other times there is not a name, there is not a time, there is nothing. There's just a story. What's the purpose of this? Power, greed, and money. Yeah. Jehu and Jehonadab. Leaving there, he came on Jehonadab, son of Rashab, who was on his way to meet him. He greeted him and said, is your heart true to mine as my heart is to yours? Jehonadab replied, yes. If so, Jehu said, give me your hand. Jehonadab gave him his hand, and Jehu took him up beside him in his chariot. Come with me, he said, and witness my zeal for Yahweh, and took him along in his chariot. When he entered Samaria, he killed all the survivors of Ahab's family there. He destroyed it as Yahweh had told Elijah it would happen. All right. The destruction of Baal's adherents and temple. Then Jehu assembled all the people. Ahab did Baal some small service. He said, but Jehu will do him a great one. Now call me all the prophets of Baal and all his priests. Not one is to be absent. I have a great sacrifice to offer to Baal. If anyone is absent, he will forfeit his life. This was a trick on Jehu's part to destroy the devotees of Baal. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, we got that already. It's coming. Summon a sacred assembly for Baal, he commanded, and they summoned it. Jehu sent messengers throughout Israel, and all the devotees of Baal arrived. Not a man was left who did not attend. Wow, they were really stupid, weren't they? They haven't heard that he was killing off everyone, and okay. They crowded into the temple of Baal until it was full from wall to wall. Jehu then said to the keeper of the wardrobe, bring out vestments for all the devotees of Baal. He brought out the vestments for them. Jehu then went into the temple of Baal with Jehonadab, son of Rashab, and said to Baal's devotees, make quite sure that there are no devotees of Yahweh in here with you, but only devotees of Baal. He then proceeded to present sacrifices and burnt offerings. Now Jehu had stationed 80 of his men outside, having said, whoever lets one of the people go, whom I am now putting within your clutches, will pay for it with his life. Threats, 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 threats. There's nothing but threats. I don't see no love anywhere. Oh, but, yeah. I know how people have used God for their purpose of doing whatever, okay? This is no different, though. Of course, it sounds like, hey, the guy's cleaning up. How is he cleaning up? Okay, I'm just saying. When he had finished making the burnt offering, he gave the order to the guards and equerries. Go in, strike them down. Let no one out. The guards and equerries went in, putting everyone to the sword all the way to the sanctuary of Baal's temple. They took the sacred pole out of Baal's temple and burned it. They demolished Baal's image and demolished Baal's temple too, making it into a latrine, which it is still today. A toilet? Okay. Ay, what a bloodbath. The reign of Jehu in Israel, 841 to 814. Thus Jehu rid Israel of Baal. Even so, Jehu did not give up the sins into which Jeroboam, son of Nebat, had led Israel. The golden calves. What? What? After all this? Thus Jehu rid Israel of Baal. Even so, Jehu did not give up the sins into which Jeroboam, son of Nebat, had led Israel, the golden calves of Bethel and Dan. Yahweh said to Jehu, since you have done well in carrying out what pleases me, and I have done everything I required to be done to the house of Ahab, your sons will occupy the throne of Israel down to the 4th generation. Jehu, however, did not faithfully and wholeheartedly follow the law of Yahweh, God of Israel. He did not give up the sins into which Jeroboam, son of Nebat, had led Israel. After all this, at that time, Yahweh began to whittle Israel down, and Hazael defeated the Israelites throughout the territory east of the Jordan, the whole territory of Gilead, of the Gadites, the Reubenites, and the Manasseites, from Aroer on the river Arnon, Gilead, and Bashan. The rest of the history of Jehu, his entire career, all his prowess, is this not recorded in the book of Annals of the Kings of Israel? I guess. Then he fell asleep with his ancestors and was buried in Samaria. His son, Jehoahaz, succeeded him. Jehu's reign over Israel in Samaria lasted 28 years. And there it is. Okay. It's it is what it is, right? Yes. Sometimes I feel like I'm talking myself hoarse about certain things that seem to have no end. Yes. One wants to believe in the necessity of certain things on the side of goodness that are just absolutely wrong as well, right? But how else are we going to deal with certain problems, certain people? Well, has it worked? How many thousands of years have people been fighting each other? Has it done any good? Just wondering. Has it? Yeah. Well, we have a long way to go, lots to talk, so got to leave some for another time. Just getting back into it, trying to write my mind in a vertical, yes, vertical, straight way to God, understanding God's heart. Father, how much did you have to do with that? Really, when it comes down to it, really, did you? Is that what you wanted to see? People slaughtering each other? Well, for one thing or another, right? Yes, no, no. That's never been God's intention. And yet, yes. Mm, maybe one thing to start with is to start kind of within one's own environment. I shouldn't have to be afraid of anyone out there. And no one should have to be afraid of me. Right? Yes? We're going to all have to work on that. Uh, it's a good start again. Yes. I wonder how many people already given up on their New Year's resolutions, right? All right. Well, that's all I have to share this morning. I hope everybody stays warm and yeah, and safe out on the road. Yes. Yeah, don't be selfish out on the road. Think you own the road. Uh, Probably the only reason people who are speeding out there, sitting on people's tails and car tails, yeah, and do all kinds of other things they shouldn't be doing behind the wheel. Uh, Probably aren't dead yet because everyone else around you is paying attention. Hmm? Yeah. Right? Yes? Yeah. Don't be a fool on the road. Be aware that there's people out there with you, mothers, fathers, grandparents, children. Yeah. All right? Yes? One little thing everyone can do, right? Get behind the wheel and with the proper attitude and in the proper condition. Yes? All right. Whew, good one right there. God's love and blessings always. May He protect you, and I will talk to you another time.